New Year. It's your girl 40 Shades.
And your brother Disby. What's been going on, people? I know it's been a minute
Real minute.
since we checked in.
I think it was October.
At least last year sometime.
3 months, yeah, since October. And here we got our grand pup. We're actually taking him back home to Oklahoma on our first load headed out, which is tomorrow. And he's leaving me, and I've really grown a bond to him. I'm going to miss him because he's been here for 30 days. Since we came home, he's been with us. And
We had him for the holidays.
such a sweet thing. It's probably easier to handle him at home than in the truck because he's hyperactive. Well, sometimes I guess. I don't know. He's a good dog.
He did good as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not a
dog person.
I'm not a dog in the truck. I'm not a dog in the truck person, you know.
No.
But he did good.
He did good.
He did good while we had him. We only had him in the truck.
About
What,
2 days.
3 days?
And
Two,
before
three?
we talk about that, when we picked him up, 4 days before then, the heater and the truck goes out. So the first night, I think I was leaving Georgia, headed to Dallas, and it was cold. But you know, if you don't drive on I-20, it's foggy. So you usually turn on the defroster to unfog it, or to defrost the window when it's
Yeah.
foggy. Well, it wouldn't work because it was cold air coming out the vents. So I thought it was kind of a one-time fluke because he was in the back sleep, but I'm, in my coat trying to bundle up, and then it's humid in there. So I'm like, okay, something's not right. So I had to crack the window, let the windshield blades go so it'll take the moisture off of it, and it just didn't work. But luckily, I made it through my whole shift. But the next night, we went to colder climates, and it was freezing. I'm talking about I had my coat on, I had a hat on. I had to buy some gloves inside the truck stop to keep my hands warm because the cold air was blowing on my fingers. And even though the cold air wasn't blowing, it was just in the truck. So it made the truck really cold. Now in the daytime, he had 60 degrees. So he didn't have to use the heater or anything else. He had perfect conditions. But at night, when it got down to 32 degrees and a little bit colder, I'm the one that was bundled up.
She handled it, people. That's all I can say. She handled it.
It's nice to say she handled it when you didn't get to drive in it.
Well, I mean, what can I say? I mean,
I don't know.
it wasn't my shift. You had to go. You had to go.
But what led up to that is that we did have to bring him in the truck one day of one of those cold days, and to have us all three in the bed. He was trying to get comfortable. We trying to get warm. The bunk heater in the back went out, so we had no heat in the back.
No, it didn't.
Remember, it got really cold and it couldn't come on. Remember, for that day, for some reason, the heat wouldn't blow any heat, so you kept it off.
Oh, you talking about the Webasto heater?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think I still got to fix that.
Oh,
I fixed the other problem
the main. He did.
when we got home.
He did.
I don't know. I'll try to do a little video on what it was. But anyway, we got that fixed. So we got heat. Mm-hmm. Everything's working fine now. So
Right. So I'm sure.
so she don't have nothing to worry about. But with that being said,
Yes.
she's going solo.
If you read the title of the video, 40 Shades is going solo.
She's going solo. Oh man,
What?
I was just reading that over there.
Okay.
Not a good thing. Just popped up on my other screen. Said black ice takes out entire family. I don't know.
What that means.
Caught on Blink Outdoor Cam. Anyway, she's going solo. You want to tell them about what's happening here?
You start off, tell your version, and I'll come back with mine.
What you mean, my version? She is. Well, if you know her story, she's never been in the truck by herself. and she still won't be in the truck by herself. We're just going to be in a solo status for about 30 days.
And then revisit.
And then what?
Revisit at the 30th day.
After
to see
30
if we'll
days.
go another 30 days.
Well, basically, we want to see. I just want to see if she can take the lead. Just take the lead, and from A to Z, can she handle it? So, in the event she ever had to, she could. So, that's all it is. This is a test.
It is a test. And we usually, in the wintertime, usually from January to March, freight's usually slow, and the weather is a little bit, was it inclement weather? What do they call it? It's bad at times depending where you go.
Yeah, usually.
So we usually go in solo configuration, but usually he's the one that's always driving. So this year we're trying to have me do it and have me pick the loads on the load board and do the trip planning. I've already done the fuel and stuff, so that stuff I'm not new with in the computer. It's just basically me driving primarily the whole time.
Right.
So.
She's going to be handling the whole operation. I'm just there for moral support. Basically, I'm going to do what she did when she first jumped on the truck with me.
Besides cooking. Don't let them tell you that.
Which was,
we just had this conversation the other day.
Well, I'm going to
heat my meals up.
I'm going to reheat, because she did all our meal prep over the last couple of days anyway. So, but I will, by the time she gets out from under the wheel, takes her shower and all that good stuff, she got a hot meal to eat. I got her. I'm telling you, I got her. So,
we'll see.
We're going to see how that goes, too.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a learning lesson, because my husband has always been the one that, picks the loads and kind of looks at all that stuff. I pretty much was a driver. I'm not going to lie. I just drove, and he said, this is where we got to go from point A to B. And he said, well, I want you to start picking the loads. I want you to start looking at the weather, the load board, really see how much you have to run to make money in this truck, which makes sense because, he does all that. All I see is the money in the account. So,
yeah,
I guess that should be a good thing to just know just that. But I think this will help me. Forbid something happens, I now can do it by myself and be confident in doing it.
Right, and she'll know exactly what what's going on, and from, like she say, from picking the loads, but being able to trip plan the loads, to be able to pick 2-3 loads and understand how you have to make them each on time so that you can pick the next one up, understand how you how the money is being made, making sure she's picking loads that are worthwhile, not just because, you don't want to just pick a load that, paying 25 cents a mile.
But the one thing that Schneider has taught me is trip plan. So I do know how to look at that and how to stack loads up. And I believe when you have a muscle that you've never used before, you will develop it. So I've watched my husband. Now, I don't take the full reins on, but I've seen him do it. And I heard him talk about cost per mile and watch out the fuel. So it's things I will pick up on as time goes. But the only way I can know for sure for myself, I just got to get out there and try. And he talked about when I got out of training, maybe I should have went solo before getting in the truck with him as an owner-operator, because as you guys may know, if you guys have been following us for a while, I rode with him for about 1.5 years, and we were in solo configuration, and that's what I seen. So I was excited about that whole truck style, because that's what I thought it was going to be for me once we became a team. So once I seen that, I was all game. We cooked together, or I cooked and we ate together. We slept, in the same bed. We got to do stuff together. But once it came to teaming, then that changed the dynamic of how I felt about trucking.
Yeah.
So he was saying, well, I wish you would have went out solo first. That way you could have seen it and then knew exactly what you was getting into at that moment. So now I'm going to see it on this end and I guess the winter time is better than any time, because if it was summertime, I don't know, maybe it'd be a little bit different, but.
Well, I think one thing about the winter, and I figured this is a good time to do this, as far as her in a solo configuration, so she doesn't have to drive at night, in the winter, and the chance of running across black ice and things of that nature.
Right.
That stuff that happens as far as nighttime driving in the winter.
Right.
She's had some experiences already, far as, I think, where'd you go, 95?
Yes.
One night, and had a big truck lose control in front of her.
Scared
And
me.
it was just
Crazy.
probably as crazy as her actually losing control, being that she's seen it all unfold in front of her, But so we figure this will eliminate the nighttime driving.
Right.
And then she just, like I say, we only doing this for about 30 days or so. I figure she'll get to see the full scope of things in 30 days.
Right.
Not wishing anything go wrong, but as far as flat tire and all that kind of stuff, but knowing what to do in the event
Of course. Yeah.
of a flat tire, how to get, she hasn't experienced that kind of stuff to whereas a tire goes flat and you're trying to get to the shoulder. Those things, I'm glad they haven't happened to her.
Right.
But in the event, it's something you got to be able to handle at that moment. So,
Right.
but
It's doable, because I see plenty of women that been doing it before me, like Miss Pearl and some other women that
Right,
I can
right.
think of that drive solo on an everyday basis. The only difference here is that start off as team, now going back to solo. So it's going to be different. I'm not saying it's going to be
she's
hard.
been pampered, y'all. Simple as that.
I don't think it's pampered.
You have. I say you've been pampered. I mean, because like she said, what she did is when she finished with her road trainer, she was supposed to go solo. What I did was park the truck and became a company driver with her. And we went team right out.
Right.
And maybe a week, 2 weeks of out there by herself, I couldn't do it though. I just couldn't do it to her. I couldn't. So I jumped in the truck with her. But even now, I'm going to be in the truck with her. So I'm there for a sounding board, support system. But I'm going to let her handle it all. I'm going to try to vlog and catch as much of this as I can. And y'all be able to follow her on this little 30-day journey. And, be there as a vote of confidence, when you guys watch the videos.
Now, if that means he will do more video, he probably won't be in it, but at least he's doing something, then I would do it.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to capture her, I'll try to capture from start to finish of her day, so it could be a day in the life of a female truck driver.
I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see how the day goes.
Well, we starting out in the morning. We pick up, we leave here. And
Tomorrow, get it empty and deadhead.
Colorado.
500 miles to go
It's still bad to get a decent load.
get a load.
Got to go over to Kansas to get a decent load. Ain't nothing decent out of.
Not worth pulling. It was some beer loads, but they was heavy going to California and they wasn't paying nothing. So
Not paying nothing, and they going in through the mountain, and, all that kind of stuff. So
no, but thankfully, I must say, since we've been home in Colorado, it's only snowed twice, and usually December, there's always snow that's
Well, it
here.
snowed a few times,
Well, it did. I mean, it was like
but it's up in the mountains.
yeah, in the mountains. But
It ain't snowed down here.
No,
I don't
no.
think we did get what, about 6 inches one day,
one night we did, yeah.
you know, but
But usually Colorado's usually pretty snowy. But this year, I mean, we actually went 218 days in Denver without snow. So
Right.
that should say something. But it seems like the weather is kind of weird everywhere, not just in Colorado, but different states are seeing things that they've never seen before. So
yeah, you're getting
It's
a lot
weird.
more snow in different, you
Yeah.
know, further south seems like,
yes.
you know. What was I about to say? Lost my train of thought on snow. But
So, oh, excuse me.
anyway,
But we just wanted to check in with you guys and kind of give you guys an update on what's been going on.
and here we go in the new year.
Yes, back at it. And I know by the time my brother Beast watches this video, he will call and definitely say something. So I'll be waiting for his call.
I already told him that you was going so long.
I'll be waiting for his call.
You know. Yeah.
But we will, I guess, catch you guys here in a few days as we start to do a little bit of vlogging. But
All right. We out.
we out.
We out. We out.
See you guys later.
Fade to black.